In today's video, I'm sharing my summer TBR and my thoughts on all the books I read this spring. I hope that you will join me. Hello everyone, Jennifer here, and welcome to the Daily Connoisseur. If you're new to my channel, I am the author of the Madame Chic series and the new book, The Daily Connoisseur's Guide to Living Well at Home. And in addition to being an author myself, I'm also an avid reader, and I can't wait to share my summer TBR with you because I have so many amazing books that I plan to read. I hope that you will stay tuned until the end because I'm also going to be sharing my thoughts on my spring TBR. I finished every book and then some. I read even more than I said I would, so it's going to be a great video. Unfortunately, I am so under the weather as I film this, but I've made myself a hot cup of tea and I hope that we can still get through this video. I'm just really excited to share the books with you, and I know a lot of you like to read along with me, so cheers. I hope that you are able to have a cup of tea as well. Okay, let's begin with the first book, which is Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hawkhauser. So I actually finished my spring TBR way earlier than I thought I would, and I had time to add books to it. So I chose Lady Tremaine by Rachel Hawkhauser. This was the Reese's Book Club pick for, I think, March. The plot instantly intrigued me, and how gorgeous is this cover? So I just had to own this book. But basically, Lady Tremaine is the retelling of the Cinderella story from Lady Tremaine's perspective, and she is the wicked stepmother, yes. And I'm saying wicked loosely because that's how history has always perceived her in the Cinderella legend. But Rachel Hawkhauser, oh my gosh, I loved this book. She told Lady Tremaine's story in a way that you just feel for the woman. You know what I mean? And I always wondered about that because she has two daughters of her own. She has a stepdaughter. She's obviously a widow twice. And what did she go through? So this book reimagines that story. It is a bit of a dark retelling, but I just feel like it has so many poignant messages for women, especially in this book, and I really enjoyed it. And Rachel Hawkhauser is so nice. I tagged her on Instagram and she responded, and she's really like lovely and down to earth, and we both went to USC. So we have that in common. I went for undergrad, she went for her master's. But anyway, she is just lovely and I enjoyed this. So if you've ever been intrigued by the Cinderella story, you might like this book. The next book is one that so many people have recommended to me. I can't wait to read it. It is Theo of Golden by Alan Levy. So it sounds intriguing, and I'm really glad people recommended it because I might not have picked it up necessarily. So I don't know too much about the story, but I know that it is about a man named Theo who goes to a southern town called Golden, and he goes into a coffee shop and he sees pencil portraits of the townspeople on the wall, and he buys them and gives them to the people, you know, that the portrait's made of. And in exchange, all he asks is for their story. So that's all I know about this book, but it sounds like a tearjerker, the type of book that's going to get me emotional. So I am excited to read this book. What would a TBR be without a cozy mystery or two? And I am so excited about this one. This is Wicked Weaves, a Renaissance Fair mystery book by Joyce and Jim Levine. So I don't know if you know this, but I love the Renaissance Fair. I love it. We have it here in Southern California every spring, and it's been a few years since I've been, but I just love it. I love all of the crafts and the food and the games, and I just adore it. So this is a cozy mystery series with the Renaissance Fair theme. What more could I possibly want? Okay, just a quick note from the future. I actually finished this book already and just wanted to let you know this one was a miss for me. Okay, here's what I loved about it. I loved the setting. The Renaissance Fair was a perfect spring-summer setting, and I really liked this setting. But I had so many problems with the main character and the plot and the dialogue. Just a lot of it just what's the word? It just didn't work for me. And sometimes that happens with a book. So I just wanted to tell you this now in case you were planning on reading this. Just keep that in mind. I hear that these authors have wonderful cozy mysteries, so maybe their other series are better. After reading the reviews, a lot of people agreed with me. But the main character, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I had so many problems with it. I'm sorry this one didn't work for me. That's okay. They can't all be winners. I have added a contemporary romance to my TBR, and the next book I'm really excited to read. It's called Pink Sand Summer by Chastity Evans. So I have a fun story for you. When I was in Charleston for the Gracious Living celebration with Victoria Magazine, on one of the days there was a table of influencers in the ballroom at the event. And I went up to them to say hi, and sometimes influencers can be intimidating to go up to because I don't know, you don't know if they're gonna be friendly or, you know what I mean? But Chastity was one of them, and she was so lovely, and we instantly connected and exchanged our information. And then when I came home, I found out she wrote this book. This is her first book, and it takes place in the Bahamas. So I'll just read the first description line. It says, on a pink sand island where everyone knows your story, one summer brings her face to face with the love that once broke her and a man who makes her question what comes next. So it sounds like this is a love triangle story. It takes place in the Bahamas. It has a summer vibe to it. So I'm so excited to read this book. It's perfect for the summer TBR. The next book is one that has been on my radar for a long time. I've heard a lot of people read it and recommend it, and it is Days at the Murasaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa. This is a Japanese book. It was like a bestseller in Japan, and it has been translated by Eric Ozawa. And I have just heard so much about this book, and it looks so cozy. One of the reviews that I heard was from Amy Marie, who has a wonderful YouTube channel. She generally reviews mysteries, even though this isn't a mystery. I do remember in one of her vlogs, she said she read this and really enjoyed it, so I can't wait to read it. So this is about a young woman who loses everything but finds herself, a cozy fiction tale of new beginnings, romantic and family relationships, and the comfort that can be found in books. Sounds like I'm going to absolutely love this. So it follows 25-year-old Takako, and her life is in a free fall. She loses her job, her friends, her acquaintances, and she spirals into a deep depression. In the depths of her despair, she receives a call from her distant uncle, Satoru, and he runs a secondhand bookshop in Tokyo. So then I believe she goes to live above the bookshop, rent-free, in exchange for helping out at the store. So I love anything with a bookshop setting. It's so cozy. And I love Japan. You know, I love Japanese culture, and I've been there twice, so I can't wait to read this book. I have a few, or maybe more than a few, thrillers on my summer TBR, of course, and the next one is not released until July 28th, and it is called Getting Away with Murder by Shari LaPena. I love her books. She is such a good thriller author to me. She just writes so smoothly, and they are page turners, domestic dramas. I love them. So this one sounds really good. It is about Jill and Ted, who live in New York in a beautiful brownstone that they have restored. It's like their child. Every inch of this home is tended to and decorated perfectly. But unfortunately, Ted's inheritance runs out and he makes a bad investment, so they fall on hard times. And so Ted and Jill come up with a plan to commit a crime that is going to give them money and secure their future. So anyway, it sounds very shady, but it sounds like something Shari LaPena is going to do so well. I can't wait to read this book. Another thriller I have on my summer TBR is The Divorce by Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden's books are like palate cleansers to me. They are very easy to read, fast-paced popcorn thrillers. That's what they are. So when I read really heavy emotional books, sometimes I just like to read a Frida McFadden book because they remind me of the R.L. Stine Goosebump books, or just like those juicy paperbacks that you read when you were a teenager. You know what I mean? Like there's something kind of sweet, simple, and juvenile about them, but they're also a little dark. So anyway, The Divorce by Frida McFadden. So listen to this. Naomi was living the quintessential love story. Boy meets girl, they fall in love, get married, buy a dream house, start a family. Then he kicks her out, hires the city's best divorce lawyers, drains their accounts, and takes up with a 20-something. Okay. It's a brutal end to the story. Naomi should accept defeat, move into a dingy apartment, and get back into the workforce, piece her life together for the shattered remains of her life, except why should she? Instead, Naomi fixates on her husband's new girlfriend. What begins as cynical curiosity soon turns into obsession and then into something far darker. So this sounds like truly unhinged Frida McFadden, just juicy drama, the tea, you know? Next on the list is a cozy mystery that I cannot wait to read. It is Murder, She Wrote, Provence to Die For. This is the 17th book in the Murder, She Wrote series. This is by Jessica Fletcher and Donald Bain. And this book follows best-selling author Jessica Fletcher as she travels to Provence for some haute cuisine and becomes embroiled in a culinary murder mystery. What more could we possibly want? What more? I can't wait to read this. When I choose these, because there are so many of them, I just choose them seasonally. So I haven't read them in order, but I've read a lot of these books and I love them. They bring me so much joy. So Murder, She Wrote, Provence to Die For. The next book I do not have with me physically because it comes out June 4th, and it is The Golden Feather by Tracy Reese. Tracy Reese is a dear friend of mine. She wrote one of my favorite books of all time, which is Amy Snow. And this is her new book. And this sounds like something even outside of what she normally writes. It sounds fantastical, whimsical, like a fantasy. So this book is about Saul Bonnytop, who is penniless, uneducated, and very, very old. He has a secret dream to enter the mighty emperor's storytelling competition. But the contest to find the most marvelous tale in all the land is out of reach for someone like Saul until the arrival of a mysterious golden feather. Despite the impossible odds, Saul and his family embark upon the ultimate road trip, making an unlikely assortment of friends and a dangerous enemy. If Saul fails, the Bonnytops will return to poverty. If he succeeds, they'll be in greater danger than ever. Saul's journey is full of splendid tales told in grand halls, but his own quest might be the most remarkable story of all. So this just sounds absolutely lovely, and I cannot wait to read Tracy's book, The Golden Feather. The next book, it's another thriller, and I picked this up on a whim when I went to Barnes & Noble. I wasn't planning on it. I just saw it, picked it up, and I thought, this sounds good. So this is You Shouldn't Have Come Here by Geneva Rose. So I have read two of Geneva's books, The Perfect Marriage and The Perfect Divorce, and she's a great thriller author. She is, it's slightly edgy, slightly racy, but definite page turners. And this one, it sounds good. It sounds like an isolated thriller that's perfect for the summertime. So this is about Grace Evans, who is an overworked New Yorker looking for a total escape from her busy life. She books an Airbnb on a ranch in the middle of Wyoming. When she arrives at the idyllic getaway, she's pleased to find that the owner is a handsome man by the name of Calvin Wells, and he's eager to introduce her to his easygoing way of life. But there are things Grace discovered that she's not too pleased about. A lack of cell phone service, a missing woman, and the feeling that something isn't right with the ranch. So again, this is like an isolated vacation thriller, and I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably read this one in August, I'm thinking. So, you know, when I'm deep in the summer. The next book is actually a children's book, but I wanted to put it on your radar because it's written by my dear friend Alice Tate, and it is called Smite and Smitten. So Alice Tate did the illustrations for my book, living well at home, and she is so talented. This is a children's book. She wrote it and illustrated it. I've read it, and I think my quote is on the back of her book, which is a tremendous honor. But this is a story about Smite the dragon, and he has piles and piles of glittering gold. But when a mischievous pink kitten named Smitten arrives one snowy night, he discovers a whole new type of treasure: friendship. If you have young kids, you will love this book. I can't wait to read it to my boys. I'm waiting for the hard copy as I am filming this, so I can't wait to read it to them when it arrives. And it's just a treasure book, so gorgeous. Okay, speaking of Alice, she is also my pen pal, and she sent me some amazing books in the mail. She sent me 2 Georgette Heyer books, Frederica and Friday's Child, and I plan to weave these into my reading as well. And I've wanted to read Georgette Heyer for a long time. These are Regency romances, I believe, and I can't wait to read those. So those are definitely on here as well. Let's talk about audiobooks, because I plan to read a lot, and there's going to be even more that I don't even share in this video. So I'll update you on that when I do my fall TBR. Right now I'm listening to Emma M. Lyon book 2, and I'll share my thoughts on book 1 in just a moment when I talk about the spring TBR. So there's that. And then I do want to also listen to Strangers by Belle Burden. That one is not fiction. It is a memoir of marriage. And I was watching Belle's interviews with Oprah, and her story is really interesting. So everyone says the book is very good and very well written. So I plan to listen to that. I will probably listen to A Nightmare Arizona book 3 on audio. That's The Paranormal Mysteries by Beth Doldner. I'll tell you what I thought of book 2 in just a minute when we talk about the spring TBR. And the other one that has been on my radar that everyone is telling me about is Yesteryear. And that is by, it's by Caro Claire Burke. And Yesteryear is about a trad wife influencer who is sent back to the 1800s. I don't know why I'm laughing. I don't know. I think this is just interesting. It sounds like it's unhinged. I'm interested in the commentary on it, and I might listen to that one. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to top up my tea because my throat is failing. I'm talking so much. And then we'll discuss our spring TBR. Okay, I had to top up my tea. So let's discuss the spring TBR. The first book I read was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. And Emily Henry is the queen of contemporary romance, so everybody says, and she is very good. Book Lovers was about Nora Stevens, who is a literary agent, and Charlie Lastra, who is a brooding editor. And they are both rivals in the publishing industry, and they end up going to, Nora goes to a small town, Charlie happens to be there. There's a little bit of a love triangle going on as well. So anyway, for me, it was just like a fun, romantic romp. I loved the witty banter between the 2 main characters. What I didn't love was I felt like the use of profanity seemed off because the characters themselves were so witty. So I feel like if you're that witty, you don't use profanity. But I mean, I'm just grasping at straws here. I think honestly, for me, when I enter these different genres that are not my like #1 genres, which you know what those are, I just need to accept it. You know, I just have to, it's like, it would be like expecting a thriller to be like a cozy mystery, right? Like that's not fair. So that's exactly, I just had a revelation. That's exactly what it is. So anyway, for a contemporary romance, this is excellent. There is language and there is spice in it. So I'm just letting you know. Okay, what else did I have? I had Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. I enjoyed this. Again, palette cleanser. This one was very different than Frida McFadden's usual books. I don't know what it was about this one, but it was about a woman named Debbie, and she runs an advice column. And it is really unhinged. Like her life is kind of unraveling. And while you're reading it, you're thinking, is Debbie okay? Or is she... whose side am I on here, basically, when you're reading this? Yeah, Debbie's life is spiraling out of control in this book. She loses her job, something strange is happening with her teenage daughters, and her husband is keeping secrets. So this is a story of a woman who's trying to hold it all together and be perfect, but then things are spiraling out of control. So anyway, it was a fun ride, is what I could say about Dear Debbie. I did read The Unselected Journals of Emma M. Lyon, Volume 1. I read this because there were so many people who recommended this to me. I've never had a book that was more recommended to me than this book, and I have to say that they were right. I loved it. I love this series. It is so witty, it's charming, it's whimsical, it is funny. It's so good. Okay, so I can't recommend it enough. If you like this channel, you'll probably love this book. And they are the journals of Emma M. Lyon, and each day is an entry. And she has come to Lapis Lazuli House in St. Crispian's, and it's 1883. So her plans for a charmed and studious life are sabotaged by her eccentric cousin Archibald, her formidable Aunt Eugenia, and the slightly odd denizens of St. Crispian's. So it's just one of those books that you read and it's so charming and lovely. You're immersed in the world. I love it. I'm now actually currently listening to the audiobook for book 2. I think I'm going to listen to the rest of the audiobooks because they are delightful. The narrator is so good. And yes, just absolutely love this book. It's definitely a favorite. This spring, I did read The Correspondent by Virginia Evans, and I loved this book. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It is an epistolary novel, and it follows our main character, who's called Sybil Van Antwerp, and it is the letters that she writes and receives from other people, the people that she corresponds with. And people have described this as a slow burn. I was immediately intrigued. Like, I love the epistolary format. They are some of my favorite books. So this just was absolutely so delightful. I don't want to give too much away really about it because I want you to, if you read this, let it all unfold. But it was emotional. I cried. I'm not telling you if it was happy tears or sad tears, both, but I did. And it just was so moving to me. So this is absolutely an excellent 5-star read. It was so good. We were really on a roll this spring because, again, another favorite book of mine was Endurance by Alfred Lansing. This book, this is one of the most important books I've ever read. I'm not kidding. It's not fiction. It is actually based on a true story about Ernest Shackleton and his voyage to Antarctica. And what year did they go? It was 1914. Polar explorer Ernest Shackleton boarded the Endurance and set sail for Antarctica, and he had a crew of, I think it was 23 men. If you don't know this story, you have to know this story. I feel like everyone on earth should know this story. I'm telling everyone to read this book. It is incredible. It is a survival story, okay? But even if you know the ending and how it ends, just reading about what these men went through, the endurance that they had to have to succeed. There are parts of this book that are so awe-inspiring. I cannot get over it. Still, I don't think I'll ever get over it. I texted my cousin and I told him to read this book, and funny enough, he was also reading it at the same time, which is just crazy. It's like such a synchronicity. And we both were just like going back and forth talking about how incredible this story is. Because the human spirit is just capable of so much. We are capable of so much. And I feel like if it was me, I would have given up on day 2. Okay, but these men, was it 2 years? Well, for 10 months, they're on the ship drifting, and then the ship gets stuck in ice. And I'm not going to tell you more because if you don't know the story, I don't want to ruin it for you because it is truly so gripping, so moving. I cried. It's for sure one of my all-time favorite books. So Endurance by Alfred Lansing. Even though it takes place in Antarctica, you could read this any time of year. Just read it. It's so good. So I went from something so deeply moving and emotional and thought-provoking to something very light and frothy, which is what I like to do because I can't do too much in a row. And I did read Drowning at the Diner by Beth Doldner. This is book 2 in the Nightmare Arizona Paranormal Cozy Mystery series. Love them. Just love them. I love cozy mysteries. I love them so much. And anyway, So this one is great. It's you have to suspend all belief, obviously, because this is a paranormal cozy. There are mermaids, there are vampires, there are all sorts of strange and unusual creatures. There's ghosts in this, and it follows Olivia Kendrick, who is deciding to stay in Nightmare, Arizona. She was just passing through in book 1, but she decided to stay, of course. And the new dishwasher at the lusty lunch counter is murdered, and her friend Ella is the main suspect. So I'm noticing a theme in a lot of the cozies. This is kind of the theme in the Renaissance Fair one, where someone is wrongly accused and then the heroine or the hero goes to clear their name. So that's what happened here, and it was fun. So I plan to read or listen to book 3 on audio. Next is The Racketeer by John Grisham. I read this spring and I enjoyed this. I took this to the resort that I went to on spring break and I loved reading it by the pool. Have really great memories of that. So John Grisham is such a good author, and I've decided I'm going to read all of his books, just slowly go through them because I've only read a few. And there's many old ones that I've never read, and I found this in the free library by my house. And I thought, ooh, a John Grisham. So I picked it up. It was so good. It's called The Racketeer. It is about a man named Malcolm Bannister. He is a lawyer. He was wrongly accused of a crime and he's serving time in prison. His life is just fallen apart. His wife has left him for another man. He doesn't see his son. He's in prison serving time for a sentence, on a sentence for something he didn't do. And a federal judge is found murdered, and Malcolm Bannister knows who did it, and he uses that as leverage to try to get out of prison. So that's the story. I won't tell you more, but John Grisham's books are gripping. They are smart. That's what I like about them. They're twisty, and it's just so good. So this was a good one. I do have one thing. I don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody. There was one thing that bothered me about this book. And it was just like a little plot thing that really kind of ate at me. And I'm like, oh, why can't we close that thread or get an update on that? So that was just one thing. But other than that, the whole book was good. So this is another solid one. I know I have a Grisham coming for fall TBR because I'm already compiling that list. He has a new one coming out. But this summer, if I finish my summer TBR early, maybe I'll add another Grisham to the list. And finally, My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. I listened to this on Audible, and the audiobook is very good, well produced. It's one of those ones with different voices and like a great production. I love sound effects in an audiobook. It just gives me old school radio mystery theater vibes, So this one, it's about a woman who goes on a jog and she comes home to her house, but her key doesn't fit in the lock when she gets home. And when somebody answers the door, she says, "Who are you?" And the woman says, "Who are you?" And the woman says that she lives there and that it's her house. So it's like someone has taken over her identity and you don't know what has happened. This book has more twists than any book I've ever read. There were probably 35 twists in this book, each one more unhinged than the last. It is such it's like whiplash from the twists and the turns, but I do have to say that I enjoyed it. Like, again, just ride the roller coaster if you're going to ride the roller coaster. You know what I mean? At the end, when you sit down and think about some of the twists, you're like, at the end, when you're finished reading with it, you might let it sit for a few days and be like, well, I don't know about that. So there is that, but when you're reading it, it is a ride. And I had DM'd Amy Marie about this because I knew she read it too, and she felt the same way. I know she loved it, the twists and the turns, and we're just forgiving the plot holes or the areas where it just doesn't quite make sense. My sister's also reading it right now, so I can't wait to talk about it with her. But it was a fun ride, and what can I say? I did enjoy it. Okay, everyone, I got through the video. I can still talk barely, but it's time for me to sign off. I hope that you enjoyed my summer TBR and my spring TBR recap. I would love to know what you are reading this season, or if you have any good book recommendations, please leave them in the comment section down below. I will leave every book that I mentioned linked down below. Also leave my own books down below, and I hope that you will check those out. Thank you for joining me here today, everyone. Keep calm and remain classy, and happy reading. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.